All right, guys, so we have another story about woke corporate America that has been exposed by Mr. Christopher Rufo, who is doing the Lord's work, right? Exposing these woke corporations for the racism that they're pushing in the name of anti-racism across this country. As AT&T tells their white staff that they're racist, asked them to confess their white privilege and to promote defund the police as a part of a re-education program by CEO John Stankley. Now that Stankley, whoa, this man's last name is Stankley. Stankley. Anyways, yeah, so this has been exposed by Christopher Rufo. And again, this is just another attempt by woke corporate America to subsidize a industry of so-called anti-racists, right, who essentially make the argument that if you are not being actively anti-racist, then therefore you are racist, right? You have to be actively deconstructing the so-called systemically racist system, or else you are a part of that system. Now, this ideology and this mindset, it's important to talk about this, guys, because this is why in my opinion, a lot of these corporations are doing this, right? It's this perception now that if you're not actively doing something about the problem, then you are a part of the problem. You simply cannot be neutral, right? You simply cannot say, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to go to work, do my job, focus on, making some money for this company and feed my family, right? That is no longer an option, right? If you sign up to work at one of these woke corporations, you now have to actively be an anti-racist. You have to actively be trying to deconstruct this so-called systemically racist system in the name of equity, right? I mean, this type of ideology is keeping a whole lot of race hustlers employed. So let's read about this, right? What's going on at AT&T? White employees of AT&T have been told to read an article saying that they are racist, are told to confess to their white privilege and acknowledge systemic racism, and must engage with set text, or else they will be penalized in their performance reviews. Wow. So it sounds to me like if you don't actively try to be anti-racist, then your performance reviews, your job review may suffer, right? You can be the best at your job, but if you're not actively trying to deconstruct the so-called systemically racist system, you could suffer, right? You could not get that raise, right? Guys, this is ridiculous. AT&T, in the aftermath of the George Floyd murder, introduced an internal program called Listen, Understand, Act. John Stankley, the CEO at AT&T, wrote to the company's 230,000 employees in an April 2021 email obtained by journalist Christopher Rufo and published on his website. Stankley, who took over as CEO in July 2020, urged his workers to make the most of the resources provided by AT&T's anti-racism portal. Quote, as individuals, we can make a difference by doing our part to advance racial equity and justice for all, he wrote. If you are looking for tools to better educate and inform yourself on racial equality, resources are available at Listen, Understand, Act. Okay, again, why is it that you just can't go to work and worry about doing your job, right? Why can't you just do that? Why is it that work has to be surrounded by this whole race conversation, right? This is one of the reasons, again, why I left corporate America, because at my corporate job, they was doing kind of the same thing, right? Where everything was racialized. And to me, it was just so annoying, right? I was like, I got to get out of here. I can't deal with corporate America. And again, that's not my only problem with corporate America. I don't like having a boss per se, even though I do have a boss now. My boss is YouTube, right? Until they get too dissatisfied with the things I'm talking about. But this is the problem with corporate America, right? And I only can imagine people who are there now, who are white, who feel like, you know what, I just don't care about this. I'm not concerned about this, now having to do this. And I'm going to tell you, again, been there, done that. I can tell you for a fact, right, that a lot of these employees don't want to do it. They don't like it. And they feel like it's a waste of their time. And what it really does, it creates more animosity in the workplace. It really does. It's not creating the effect that these people think it is. We also encourage you to actively participate in our recently launched Equity First Learning Experience, a new initiative to increase awareness and action around our value to stand for equality. Most employees are not forced to engage with the Listen, Understand, Act program, but managers at AT&T are now assessed annually on diversity issues, with mandatory participation in programs such as discussion groups, book clubs, mentorship programs, and race re-education exercises, according to Rufo's source. Again, I wonder, do any of these activities help the bottom line, right? Because if they don't help the bottom line and the company starts to lose money, are they going to keep people based off racial equity, right? Are they going to keep people based off that? Or are they going to keep people based off who is contributing to the bottom line the most? I guarantee you, if the company starts to lose money and they got to cut some people, the first people that are going to get cut, right, are the people that are not performing. Your race will go out the window. That's how capitalism works. So, as you can see here, this is the obtained documents here. He says, I've obtained a cache of internal documents about the company's initiative called Listen, Understand, Act, which is based on the core principles of critical race theory, including intersectionality, systemic racism, white privilege, and white fragility. The source told Rufo that employees are asked to sign a loyalty pledge to keep pushing for change. They are encouraged to sign up to intentions such as reading more about systemic racism and challenging others' language that is hateful. Again, what do you define as hateful language? Again, I got questions about that. The source described as a senior employee said, if you don't do it, you're a racist. Exactly. That's literally exactly what I'm telling you guys. This whole racism / anti-racist stuff, you cannot be neutral, right? You cannot be neutral. Rufo published several pages from the Listen, Understand, Act portal. One of them recommended reading items on May 31st, 2020 article from the Chicago Tribune by columnist Delene Glanton titled, White America, if you want to know who's responsible for racism, look in the mirror. The portal also recommended books such as White Fragility, Why Is It So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism by Robin DiAngelo, and White Awake, an honest look at what it means to be white by Daniel Hill. In the ACT section of the training program, Rufo reported AT&T encourages employees to participate in a 21-day racial equity habit challenge. The plan, he said, relies on the concepts of whiteness, white privilege, and white supremacy, and those participating must commit to do one action per day for 21 days to further their understanding of power, privilege, supremacy, oppression, and equity. The challenge begins with a series of lessons on whiteness, which claims, among other things, that white supremacy is baked into our country's foundation, that whiteness is one of the biggest and most long-running scams ever perpetuated, and that weaponization of whiteness creates a constant barrage of harm for minorities. Wow. Again, this to me, it does not sound right. Okay, this does not sound like language that promotes equality, which is what I want. I want equality for everybody. That does not seem to be what they're trying to promote here. Participants are told, notice your biases and judge as they arise. These are a goal for you to excavate your subconscious. Among the suggestions are items such as prepare yourself to interrupt racial jokes. Click here for some advice about how. The authors of the 21-day challenge state, we think understanding white privilege is a powerful lens into the complexities of doing social justice work, so we focus our resources on that specific issue. AT&T is yet to respond to dailymails.com requests for comment about Rufo's report, but has made no secrets of its activist leanings. On August 23rd, as a part of a comprehensive review of corporate America's anti-racist activities, the Washington Post reported that AT&T had made lobbying for police reform part of some of their employees' job. AT&T's regional president, Ken McNeely, told the paper that employees in the legislative and public affairs team had the lobbying for police reform included in their annual review. Our financial contributions to support police reform is but a slice of the pie, McNeely said. After the paper reported AT&T donated $21.5 million to causes advocating racial justice, we actively took a more direct route. Filing testimony or a letter of support in our name using our brand is in many instances more impactful than giving money to a third party. Okay, my question is, what does this have to do with the bottom line? What does this got to do with the bottom line? Right? Is this actually making the company money? Or are they just virtue signaling? And again, I'm not for the racial animosity that's being created by these programs, I really do feel like this country is headed in a direction that it's not gonna like in 20, 30 years in the name of so-called anti-racism. But hey, what do I know? I am just some dude on the internet. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.